Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, out and about with a preview for tomorrow's massive game against Paris Saint-Germain, Kylian Mbappe and all that sort of thing. I mean, a couple of years ago, honestly, a short, 2 years ago or so, just over 2 years, who would have thought we would have been saying at this point that we're taking on Paris Saint-Germain at St James's Park in the Champions League? People would have thought you'd been out fucking sniffing glue or something like that. Yeah, they would have fucking probably sectioned you. You know, we come within an ant's knob of being relegated to the Championship, and we could have been playing Preston, never mind fucking Paris Saint-Germain. You know what I mean? It's such an absolute huge turnaround. Cannot wait. The displays that Salah have done over the past sort of 2 evenings have been absolutely fantastic. Whetted the appetite, no doubt about it. And yeah, although it's going to be a massive challenge, an uphill task, you've got to pinch yourself from where we've come from, where we've we're going to. It's a free hit. Nobody in the media, nobody from fans of other clubs expects us to do absolutely anything in the Champions League. They probably think we're already overstepping our mark, getting a draw in the San Siro against Milan. So literally anything would be a bonus. I'm actually feeling quite confident, quite bullish, quite positive about it. Yes, the injuries are a pain in the arse. I'd feel a lot more confident if we had a Sven Botman, a Joelinton, Callum Wilson available, so on and so forth. I mean, we've got 9 injuries at the moment. We're one of the team with the most injuries in the league. It's frustrating, it's disappointing. There's players who I've just mentioned there who deserve to be given Champions League minutes. You don't want them to, after everything that they've done last season, to miss out on playing any Champions League minutes, really, do you? They deserve it for what they put in last season, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the clawing the way up the league to get into the Champions League. They deserve to be able to play in these nights. So it's disappointing. It opens up the doors for other players, and look, the likes of Jamal Lascelles has stepped in, and again, we've kept clean sheets. He's done well. He never lets the team down. In midfield, all the injuries seem to be sort of really super focusing in midfield at the moment. I know Sven Botman is a massive miss, but we are weakened in midfield, and that's really an area of strength for Newcastle United, to be honest. But having the likes of Joe Willock out is an absolute kick in the knackers. Harvey Barnes, like I say, Joelinton in particular, I think is going to be sorely missed. And then obviously with the issues around Isak and Wilson. Isak played at the weekend, didn't look his champagne best, but still got a goal. So obviously it was a penalty, but had other opportunities. Callum Wilson probably isn't going to be fit and available for this game unless it's some major shithousery by Eddie Howe, which I doubt in this situation. I really do. But look, whoever is left available, I've no doubt they will give their all, and they will try their best, and they will represent the club to the best of their abilities, no doubt about it. But yeah, it's interesting to see who is going to be starting this game. I think Eddie's just sort of got to look around and say, are you available? Are you available? Are you registered? Can I use you? I think there'll be a couple of youngsters on the bench for this game, and what a cracking experience it will be for those lads, because I am expecting a special atmosphere under the lights. A great display from War Flags. There's not going to be all the fancy drones and stuff like that on the match night, but still I'm expecting it to be really, really special. One of the best atmospheres probably since maybe the semi-final of the League Cup last season. Team news. Yeah, it's difficult to be able to really say with any sort of certainty. Eddie will speak to the press very, very shortly, but you'd have to think Nick Pope will continue in goal. Again, hopefully, let's keep another clean sheet. If you can keep another clean sheet. You'd always fancy the fact that we have got goals in us. We can nick a goal, whether it's off a good set piece from Trippier, whether it's off Miggy, whether it's off Isak, whether it's off Bruno. Tonyali may start later on, but we always fancy us to get a goal. So a clean sheet, hopefully, fingers crossed for Nick Pope. So Nick Pope in goal. Across the back, Trippier will play right back, of course he will. All the players that we've signed, all the money that's been sort of spent on the likes of Isak and stuff, and I still maintain Trippier Trippier is the best money that we have ever fucking spent. Such a player, such a leader, such an important person to have in that team. But so Kieran Trippier will play right back. In the middle, it'll be Fabian Schär, Jamal Lascelles, no Sven Botman until after the international break. Left back, Dan Burn. He's going to get a chance to cope against Mbappe and co. I hope he has a cracking game. I really do. Sometimes some folk get on him. You know, he's a player playing out of position, and he's definitely trying his best. Heart on the shirt, you know what it means to him. So yeah, Dan Burn at left back, and then across the middle. This is going to be the difficult one. We are down in numbers. We are the walking and wounded at the moment. But Sean Longstaff, as I've said all before this all hoorah, but oh how great is Sean Longstaff. I've been saying this for quite a while, to be honest, because sitting where we sit in the stadium and watching him play and what he does and the stuff that maybe the TV cameras don't even pick up on is, you know, you've got to give him a lot of respect. He gets through so much graft, covers so much ground, and then you see moments like against Sheffield when he, you know, pops up and gets the goal. So I've long been a fan of Sean Longstaff. I think he's absolutely great, and in him going about and doing his job well makes Bruno look even better. And it's no surprise to me to see Sean Longstaff back in the team after a couple of games. His levels are really high, and then the players around him look a million times better. He helps, he does the nitty-gritty to allow the superstars to go and do what the superstars do. So yeah, Sean Longstaff in the middle. Either side, I would suggest it's going to have to be, because there's not a lot of options, Bruno and Tonali. Not a bad midfield three, isn't mind, even with the injuries, even with Hugh Willicks missing, etc. Joe Linton's, to have that as your midfield three isn't bad at all. Then either side, you know, who's going to play what? I know you've got Elliot Anderson, you've got Anthony Gordon, and you've got Miggy. I think Elliot Anderson will be kept on the bench, back for reserve in case we need to make changes in the second half, rest some tired legs or change the formation. So I'm expecting Anthony Gordon to play one side, and he's been absolutely fucking unbelievable. 45 million. Seems an absolute snip now. I mean, how Everton could do with somebody like Anthony Gordon, it's a little bit funny, isn't it, really, to be honest, after the way that they've treated him. But he's been absolutely unplayable, fantastic, running at players, making things happen, being really positive, getting goals, making things happen, you know, getting players to make fouls on them, to get penalty kicks and stuff like that. Fantastic. Fingers crossed we get a bit more of all of that against PSG. So Anthony Gordon one side, Miggy Almiron on the other side. And look, 2 goals in 2 games. Miggy is one of those players who goes on a run, and then after that, after the run's done, he'll go quiet then for another 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games as well. So he goes on runs of goal scoring form, and then runs where there's no goals. So let's continue the goal scoring form, Miggy. It would be absolutely fantastic, and everybody would love Miggy to score a goal. Like I say, he plays with his heart on his sleeve. He's always smiling, he's always happy, positive. Again, came to us when things were a lot tougher, harder. So deserves the stage, deserves the opportunity to play. Miggy one side, Anthony Gordon the other. Then up front, we've only got one left, haven't we? Isak. We only have 2 to start off with. One's injured, so that leaves Isak. So it's quite a nice and easy maths, even for me, to be able to do that one. I know you could play with possibly Gordon up top and play Elliot Anderson out to the left hand side. There is a few different variations. He spoke in the week, Eddie Howe, about even deploying Jacob Murphy as an emergency striker. Joe Linton, obviously, you mentioned also, but he's not going to be able to make this match, I don't think. Not after coming on and getting a hamstring after, what, 3 minutes. That ain't going to happen. So there is some different alternatives if Isak can't make the game, or if he feels he needs to keep him back for the West Ham game. I can't imagine Isak will be too happy with that. He'll want to play in this game. I think he will play in this game. So my team I'm going for is, just to recap, Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier. Then we'll have Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Schär, Dan Burn. In the holding midfield sort of role would be Sean Longstaff. Either side would be Bruno and Sandro Tonali. And then either side again of them, operating the sort of wing attacking areas, Anthony Gordon and Miggy Almiron. And up top, Alexander Isak. Is that your team? Is that the team you think Eddie Howe will go with? Would you make changes? Would you change the system perhaps? Or is it just more of the same? Like I say, the bench will be weakened, there's no doubt about it. Numbers are sort of trying to run out. You can't have a particularly strong bench when you've got 9 players out injured, with the sizes of squads that you've got to register and stuff like that. So expect to see the likes of Lewis Miley on the bench, you know, and some of the younger players. And who knows, perhaps they will get minutes in this game. Fingers crossed. Newcastle United can get about them. The atmosphere, you saw it against Manchester City. First half, there was a nervous energy. There was a twitch inside the stadium, probably seeing Paul Dummett and Jamal Lascelles paired as centre-back partnerships, with the greatest of respect. But the second half, the players gave a bit more, the fans were able to up the volume, and there was times in the second half that Manchester City just looked absolutely petrified. It puts pressure on them, it puts intensity on them, it forces them to make mistakes. And if we can have more of that for the entire 90 minutes against Paris Saint-Germain, fingers crossed we can get a victory. I'm feeling confident. I do think it'll be a cagey, close affair, and I'm going to go for 1-0 to Newcastle United. Newcastle United just literally to edge it, to get ourselves in front and be able to keep hopefully the likes of Mbappe and co out of the game, out of the contest, and 3 very, very useful points, and then 4 points from 2 games would be absolutely fantastic in this group of death, where the competition is so high. So let me know what you think about the score prediction as well. What do you think the score is going to be? Please subscribe to Magpie 24/7. Like as touched upon on the last video, we are like an ant's knob away from 2,000, so would appreciate it absolutely massively. I know there's lots of different content providers out there producing fantastic, you know, great stuff. So for you to take the time to go out and hit the subscribe button, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does mean a heck of a lot to both myself and Kyle and the rest of the lads who chip in on Magpie 24/7. So yeah, I'll leave it for there. I'll be back, either myself or Kyle will be back after the game to do the review, hopefully talking about Newcastle United getting 3 very, very valuable points. Fingers crossed, everything crossed. Yeah, just pray. Power of positivity. Cannot wait to get to St James's Park. Just so lucky to be able to get a fucking ticket, honestly. They're like absolute gold standard at the moment. So yeah, subscribe to Magpie 24/7, hit the like button, get your comments down below, and in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.